This is the horizontal axis. We're looking for where that touches. When I'm talking about those, I can actually call them a lot of different things. So they might be called roots, but there's 4 words total that we might see. They might be called the zeros, the solutions, or the x-intercepts. And all of those mean the same thing. Tell me where that parabola touches the x-axis. So make sure you get those words down, because that is on your homework. What are the 4 different things that we might call it? It could be a solution, a zero, a root, or an x-intercept. When we're talking about quadratics, they don't always have the same number of solutions. We could have a parabola like this. And we can see that one hits the x-axis 2 times. So that one has 2 solutions. They would be those x values. It might just have 1 solution. Maybe I have a parabola that only touches the x-axis 1 place. So it might have 1 solution. Or it's possible to have a parabola that never hits the x-axis, in which case it has no solutions. So when I'm asking for the solutions, you might have 0, 1, or 2 possible answers. All right, so to find them, we are going to just graph like we have been doing. So if I'm asking you to look at this first example, when we graphed these yesterday, or all last week, we had to find the vertex first. And remember, to find the vertex, we use opposite of b over 2a. b is the number in front of x, so that's 4, so the opposite of b is negative 4. A is the number in front of x squared. If there's nothing written there, what is a? 1. So we get negative 4 over 2, or negative 2. Notice I did make the table a little bit bigger this time, but I'm still just putting this negative 2 in the middle. All right, we are going to put in a few more points just to help us find those points on the x-axis, but we're still, from here, just going bigger and smaller. So smaller, maybe negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, bigger, negative 1, 0, and 1. All right, and to get the y's, we know we just plug them into the equation. So you ladies do negative 5. You two do negative 4. Esther and Aiden do negative 3. Negative 2. Kayla and Noah put in negative 1. You two do 1, and I'll do 0. So plug in your number. Everybody knows how to plug these in? All right, what did you get with negative 5? What do you think you got? So negative 5 gives us 0. Negative 4, what did you get? Negative 5. Negative 3, what did you guys get? Esther, Aiden?
I got negative 8.
Negative 2, what did you guys get? Negative 9. Negative 1. Probably missed a parenthesis. Remember, when you put them in, you always put it in the parentheses. And 1 So if I plot this, negative 5, 0, negative 4, negative 5, negative 3, negative 8, negative 2, negative 9, negative 1, negative 8. Got off on my counting. So, negative 5, 0. Make sure you count appropriately. This graph's a little bit smaller, so a little harder to see. Okay, when I am looking at these, we're getting our graph, so that's nothing new, but we had a few more points because I need to make sure we had the points that give us the solutions here. So my zeros are where it hits the x-axis. So we can tell this two different ways. We can look at our graph and we can see, oh, it hits the x-axis here and here. Or we can look at our table. We're looking for the points when the y is 0. So we can either look here, it's at when x is negative 5 and positive 1, or we can look at our table. My y was 0 with negative 5 and positive 1. So my solutions, a lot of times they're written in solution set, those squiggly brackets, just negative 5 and 1. Those are the two things that make it touch the x-axis, or make your y equal 0. Okay, so that's all we're doing. We have more points just because we have to make sure we get enough points to tell when it's 0. We will talk about what to do if we don't want to plug in all those points, but not today. Today we're just going to stick with what we have been doing and use that to help us. So if I look at number 2, what is my A on this one? And my B? So if we're doing the vertex, the opposite of B, the opposite of negative 2 is positive 2 over 2 times A, so 2 times 1. So we have 2 over 2, which is 1. So that is the x value of my vertex. And then we need to go smaller and bigger. Make sure when you plug these in, you're doing your number in parentheses squared, minus 2, number in parentheses, plus 1. All right, you two do negative 1. Kale, or negative 2. Kale, Noah, negative 1. 0. Aiden and Esther, 1. You guys do 2. You ladies do 3. I'll do 4. So negative 2 gave you what? Negative 1 gave you 4. 0 gave you 1. 1 gave you 2, 3, 4. All right. So we have negative 2. Negative 2, 9. Negative 1, 1. 0, 1, 1, 0, 2, 1, 3, 4, 4. How many times does this graph touch the x-axis? 1. So again, we can tell that two different ways. We can either look, this is where it touches, or we could find a time when the y value is 0. So what's the x value that makes it hit the x-axis? So you could give me the ordered pair, or a lot of times we just give the x value. So we say when x is 1, it is our solution. So the ordered pair is 1, 0, the x value is just the 1. All right, make sense? Let's do one more. On 3, what is my A? And what's my B? So x equals the opposite of B would be a negative 2 over 2 times A, 2 times negative 1. So negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1. So that's what goes in the middle. Smaller and larger. All right. Everybody check the same number you did last time. We have the same x value, so check the same one you did last time. When you plug it in, there's the negative on the outside, then your parentheses squared plus 2 times the number in parentheses minus 3. So use that format when you're putting it in the calculator if you're struggling with the calculator piece. Negative 2, what'd you get? Negative 1. 0. 1. Okay, some of our points look off.
The 2 is negative 3.
Oh, the 2 is negative 3. Okay. I'm not sure that this one might be off and this one might be off.
I did negative 1 after I got negative 6.
Yeah, I think negative 1 gives you a negative 6. If you
For
put
1, I got 0.
if you put in 1, you have the opposite of 1 squared plus 2 times 1 minus 3. I think you missed the
I
negative.
didn't put the negative in front.
So 1 should give us negative 2. And 3 gave us negative 6. Okay. So negative 2, 11 is actually off our, negative 11 is kind of off our graph there, but we can estimate it. Negative 1, negative 6, 0, negative 3, 1, negative 2, 2, negative 3, 3, negative 6, and 4, negative 11. So when I graph this one, where does it touch the x-axis? It doesn't. So that means there is no solution. You can either write in words no solution, or the symbol for it is like a 0 with a line through it, like this. That means there is no solution. This one never touches the x-axis. You don't want to put 0, because that says it touches the x-axis when x is 0, and that's not the case. So make sure you either do no solution or write the symbol. All right. Questions on those?